ask, what? Let's say you have a stock TM. We won't go Glock, but we're because Glock's a little harder to get, is my understanding. At least a real TM is. A TM 5.1. What do you need to put into it to be competitive? Do you think you could be competitive with a stock one?
Absolutely. I think you can easily. I always tell everybody, everybody always gets these high kappas, and I'm like a lot of the other guys, that are big into pistols. You don't have to upgrade that thing, right out the box. Run that thing till it breaks. When stuff breaks, replace it. But if you're one of those guys, you have to replace something. Honestly, get the gun. If you're gonna run green, let's just put it out there. You're running green gas. Okay, we're not going HPA. It's a little different, obviously. Say you're running green gas, barrel, hop up, bucking, have fun. I mean, that's all you got to do. You don't have to have the short strokes. You don't have to have the springs. I mean, the springs will wear down eventually. I'd upgrade them whenever they
The short
wear
strokes
down.
are cheap though, aren't they?
Super cheap. They're just going to make it a little bit snappier, cycle faster. But honest to God, all you really need in one is a barrel, bucking, and hop up, because it's just going to increase your accuracy.
I know that's the only thing about pistols, man. Is parts are expensive. Other than like, yeah, again, bushings and stuff like that. But man, the barrel, $100, slide, $250. Blowback housing, $80.
Yeah, I mean, you can easily go into it. I've built 5.1s that are considered sleepers, or 4.3s, which is basically everything done on the inside. I'll have, maybe $300 in it. And then 5.1s I built, just standard 5.1s. I'll have, about $600 in slides, everything, triggers, all that. You can even step up into my 6-inch that I had, the hybrid. I mean, if you've done that kit all the way out, I mean, you're looking at easy $800-900 or more.
You see some of these cats with like $1,200 pistols.
Exactly. You don't have to have all that. I mean,
No.
it's going to lead into that way. It always does, because, you want it custom. You want to be the cool guy. It always goes that way, but you don't have to have that.
Pistols, I will say, that's one thing I do love about pistols, and I don't even have a good one, but there's a lot more customization in a pistol. A lot more. Like, yeah, you can customize a rifle. You can hydro dip it, spray paint it, get custom rails and stuff like that, and it's nice and fancy, but a pistol feels like it's yours 100%. That's your custom pistol. That's the one thing I always loved about pistols.
Yeah, I mean, there's endless options from color combinations, the way you set your pistol up. It's like my Glock. My Glock, it's an all-black Glock. Glock 17 with 34 inner barrel. I know we said we weren't talking about Glocks, but I'm going to keep stressing that Glocks are good, man, if you can get a hold of the TM Glocks. But we'll jump back to the 5.1s. But like even my high cappers, I always enjoyed having this like one slide that was red. It wasn't a common slide. Sure, red is common and everything, but that one slide, they didn't make a ton of red. So I had that one. I loved it. It's just crazy. A lot of guys say they like pistols because you can. I know this sounds weird, but you can somewhat express yourself in a pistol. You can go as far as doing like a Joker one. You can go as far as doing a Deadpool one. You can describe things you like in the design of your pistol. If you're just simple and classic, you can keep it, solid blacks. You can do black and gold, black and silver. The color combinations are endless. And,
What about you, Ron?
As far as like, what do you need for a pistol?
Mm-hmm.
Not much. Like he said, the pistol I run is pretty much stock, other than like a blowback housing and barrel and stuff like that. But I mean, it's stock. It's ran on HPA, so I don't run it on a high PSI. But it's stock. It works fine.
What's the bonus of going to HBA compared to green gas? I know you were just talking about earlier that a lot of people are going back to green gas. What?
On my high kappa, I ran HPA just because, we're in the South. It does get colder. Green gas doesn't like cold weather as much. It's a plug and play. As long as your seals are right on your valves, you're not going to have leakage. You're not going to have any of that. You can get a little bit more of a hotter round, per se, coming out of there. It can be humping a little bit more. But the downside to it is you do have to upgrade a lot more, in my opinion, on the inside of the gun, as far as like, blowback housings, nozzles, springs, guide rods. You need to do a lot of stuff like that to take the HPA. Ultimately, when you build your high kappa, even with green gas or HPA, you want it as light as possible. That's why you're swapping out, you're getting rid of the blowback unit that weighs like 5 pounds and swapping it with like an AIP or a Airsoft Masterpiece blowback unit, because it's a lot lighter. You know, same way with the guide rod, you're going from a steel, you know, well, it depends if you're running HPA or green gas, you're going from a steel guide rod to an aluminum guide rod. You know, you want it as light as possible because it helps with gas efficiency. So, you know.
So what's your thoughts on the plastic is what I'm getting at, but not just the regular plastic, the custom plastic. What's it called?
Talking about 3D
Oh,
printing?
3D printing. That's what I'm sorry. Yeah, I couldn't think of it.
Not a fan of it, just personally.
Do you think it's ever going to come around where it's solid? Because I know in the beginning everybody was all about it because it was quick, easy, fast, cheap, and everybody loved it, but it kept having so many problems. Do you think, just like all kinds of technology, it'll come around eventually, or do you think it's just metal's the way to go?
It's possible. You know, I think it's possible. Anything's possible. Not going to say no, not going to say yeah, but it's possible.
Now, I wasn't steering away from the Glocks. I just know Glocks are a little harder to get, but why Glock? Why Glock? Why would you choose a Glock over a 5.1?
Simple. I've had a 6-inch 5.1 that I, you know, hybrid kit, full everything done to it. I thought it was, you know, top of the line, you know, as accurate as it could get. You take a stock TM Glock, it's retarded accurate, just out of the box. You upgrade it, it's even better. But the downside to a Glock is not only are they hard to find, parts are a little bit more expensive generally. They're harder to find. And
Harder to work on too, aren't they?
a whole lot. You know, that's what I was getting into. You know, you got the 5. Let's take the 5.1. The best way I explain it to people is your 5.1 is like your modern day car. Parts are easy to find. A lot of people know how to work on them. Your Glock is like your old school hot rod. Not many people know how to work on them. You got to be selective on who does work on them, and parts are harder to find for them. If you don't mind those type of things, and you don't mind learning something a little bit more, you know, involved as far as even the blowback unit or the trigger unit, the whole, you know, the spring housing, all the hammer housing, all that stuff. If you don't mind learning all that, then I would say Glock. But if you're looking for the easy way out, you know, what's real simple to work on, simple to upgrade, simple to find parts for, TM 5.1 all day.
What you? Because I know you had a Glock for a while, but it wasn't a TM Glock.
That's because I didn't build it.
It was a Army Glock. It's very popular overseas. I'm pretty much the unorthodox guy. I do not do what everybody else does. I like to explore.
That is the truth. It's not always a bad thing, but it's definitely different.
If they sell it on Amazon, this guy will get it.
Yeah, I mean, I just like to see what else is out there, you know, because a lot of stuff, a lot of people have, but, you know, some of the stuff you have to go looking for. A lot of, you know, the big companies don't make it, so I kind of look for the smaller companies, see what they have to offer. But I mean, Glocks are good. They are very accurate. Me personally, I'm going to cop out to the TM because it's easy to work on. I mean, the 5.1.
So, airsoft, well, actually, before I get into that, I was going to get some more general questions. I wanted to ask you, so that way they all know, where did TROD come from? Is it, how do you prefer, I've never actually asked you this, what do you prefer to be called? Because everybody says TROD, which is weird. Why